to the two grumpy men, C. Grooms and Bobby May in the building.
Yeah, what it do? What it do? Let's go.
All right, all right. Oh, we got a special guest on the line, the educator extraordinaire, Chynna Crawford. Give it up.
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you tonight, Miss Crawford? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm well. How are you guys?
We're good.
Good.
So, yesterday we, there was should we call this an article? Is it a blog that was out that you put out? What is it?
It's a published article.
Okay, so published
on
article.
Medium.
Okay, on Medium. Get the app. You can get on this. So the name of the article is "Open Memo to White Educators." We coming right at y'all tonight. No holds barred. We just gonna get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you wrote this article, which was very, it was truly powerful, which is a much needed conversation with our white fellow counterparts in the education system. I guess the first question I have is, what drove you to even felt like you wanted to put this out? And I mean, I guess going through what we're going through right now in this time, I'm sure that had some influence on you. So, or was this already something you wanted to put out before? Can you just let the people know?
It definitely wasn't something that I wanted to put out before. This week, with everything that's going on in society, and every teacher that I know and everybody that I know is working from home, we had like virtual meetings, because I think that like everybody, districts, corporations, everyone is just, in a rush to figure out what can they do to show allyship to Black people, and that is no different in schools. And so in a work meeting that I was in, I just, I continue to hear conversations just with like colleagues that I continue to just try to figure out what can they do. And other people that I know, my friends who are also educators, we're all having the same conversation around like our colleagues all trying to figure out what can they do. And then the answers that they come up with don't really align to serving Black students. It's more around serving self, or making, allowing like white guilt, or appeasing to their white guilt in a sense. And so I wrote the article out of frustration. The article that you see published is not the original. I really bled on the page the first time I wrote it. It was more like attacking in a sense, but like I had to like make sure I was coming from a standpoint that, I wanted them to listen and then be able to act after listening. So that's where it stems from.
Okay, because here's a paragraph that drew me in. Okay, I'm going to just read it back real quick. This what drew me in. However, I do not write this as an update on what is currently like to be Black in America. This serves as a platform in challenging white educators serving in Black communities to uphold their commitment to our students. These educators must become an ally in the work against anti-racism. It is urgent, it is crucial, it is necessary. So when I read that, I stopped right there. I just stopped. I paused, and I text Rob real quick. I said, damn. I said, yo, this right here, like, I'm going to continue. I said, she not playing right now. Like, so as I continue to read the rest of the article, I said, oh, okay. You know what? I know the frustration right there. You being a Black woman, you in the school, you already know the environment that a lot of the kids come through in the community that you serve, right? You're talking about Baltimore public schools, am I correct?
Correct.
Right. So being very familiar with that scene in Baltimore is real down there, and they go through the same things that we do, in New York on the same scale. It's just less of a population, but the plight is the same. So when you have white educators coming from different areas, the attitude that they have expressed, because that's all I really knew coming up. I didn't have that many Black teachers coming up, grades K to 8. I could probably have like 5, maybe 4. We're not prevalent, and it's always been that way. So you figure they come to I guess it's a quote unquote ghetto, lower income community to do their teaching and build up their resume, and then they bounce and they go other places. But they're not coming there to really, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not trying to feel your energy. They just there to do their job and then bounce. They don't really want to be involved with the population. And I'm gonna tell you something. As a teacher who was in the school when things like that was going on, you could see that. Like you don't really care about the kids. So when I read your paragraph, it kind of took me there, and I said, okay, I need to know where she was going. Like, was you gonna punch him in the face, or were you just gonna grab their hand and be like, let me walk you over here to this room so you can see what I'm talking about? So when that paragraph, because since you say you cleaned it up, because it's a powerful article. If that's your cleaned up version, then that's great. I mean, look, if that's cleaned up, that's good. I mean, I like that. I'm with that. I mean, that's great. Me, I don't know. I'm a little older. I don't care. I would have probably put out the other version. It wouldn't have been published either. But so you were smart to put it out. So when you wrote that, I guess my question to you is it your frustration with your white counterparts, or do you feel like they need to be more involved in the process of actually educating, since they are in the urban school?
When I wrote that, it was because I felt like there was silence, or there was a needed conversation that needed to be had with white educators. All over, what we're seeing is people giving white people books that they can read, documentaries that they can watch, and how to become allies. That's what you see all over social media. You see everyone, suggesting ideas for them. However, as a teacher, I look at things in a little bit of different perspective, and I try to listen to my students. I want to reflect my teaching to for my students, how my students feel. And so white educators take up a lot of space in black communities. And I think that it's I don't want to say it's sad, but it's frustrating to know that you don't know what to do, or you don't know how to be an ally from a community that you benefit off of. And it bothers me, because you stand in front of a classroom all day and you serve predominantly black children, but when it comes to, matters of their lives and their livelihood and survival and, just being treated as a decent human, you don't know what to say. You're confused. And that the only thing that you want to do is you simply want to post on social media. You want to post a black square. You want to say, I support Black lives, but you don't have any action behind the words that you're saying. And so, these white educators come into our communities through programs like, Teach for America, teaching residency programs right after college, oftentimes because teaching is the area in which we don't have, it's a high turnover rate. We don't have people who want to stay in the system for too long. It's challenging. We're underpaid, and they take up so much space, and for you to just not even know what to do is a disservice to my children, and it's a disservice to me as a colleague. I think it's disrespectful on so many platforms, because you benefit from it in so many ways. And I agree with you with the fact that they come into our classrooms. Sometimes they only stay for a year or two. A lot of those teaching residency programs only require them to stay for a year or two, and then they can use this background now to go level up and do something different that doesn't even have anything to do with children, and they don't even recognize the impact that they have from leaving children after only staying for a year or 6 months or 2 years, and then just off and just leave the kids. It's just a conversation that needs to be had. And I remember when I wrote the article, one of my friends, she was like, she works at a predominantly white school. She's black, and she was like, girl, these white teachers, they dying to figure out what to do. They don't know what to do, and so your article just serves as something just to start conversation on ideas on what to do. Because I think that for so long, I shouldn't say for so long. As I'm watching my article, become viral and people just talking about it, it just leads me to the question, like, what has white educators been doing all this time? Like, you know what I'm saying? You've been occupying spaces all this time. You haven't even, you know what I'm saying? You don't even know what the definition of allyship is. You haven't really been fighting for our kids. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You're taking up space, you're teaching them something, but, you know what I'm saying, you're everything, all the things that you choose to not be reflective on in your life with your biases and with racism and your white privilege and your white guilt and your whiteness, all these things that you are informed of, you bring those things into the classroom and you don't even recognize it. And, that's the conversation that, they don't want to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Well, like, the moment we talk about it, they get all sad, they want to cry, like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to do something.
All right, I got a question, though. So wow. I agree with everything you said. I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
So, you know me, I got to do it. I got to play that role.
Let's do it.
So, these white educators, yes, they come into our neighborhoods. They, like you said, through these programs, they come from all over because they want to be a part of the city life, whether it's New York, the Baltimore's, Houston's, wherever it's at. And they have no understanding of what it is to be, to teach these kids, to teach black kids, because this may be their first really in contact with this type of population. So, well, as in that form, is it really their fault, or is it the programs and the people that are exploiting these programs to put them in fault? Because they're looking for a job right out of high school to pay back debt, just as everybody else is. And this opportunity, by going through this program, is going to help them pad their resume, build, experience and things of that nature. So, we're going to hold them accountable, but shouldn't we also hold accountable these programs?
Right.
I agree, but then I also feel like nobody forced your hand to become a teacher. I didn't ask you. I didn't beg you.
No,
we didn't do that.
They don't. You gotta listen though. You gotta remember, they're coming out of college like anybody else looking for a job. Jobs then job ain't knocking on your door. So
yeah,
this opportunity comes to them.
When I came out of college, my first thing wasn't to become a teacher. I worked in retail. I had a black professor that told me, 80% of you guys, when you graduate, you're not going to be in the field that you think you are in. You're going to be in another field to gain understanding, to gain this, that, and the third, whatever, gain experience. You won't be in the original field that you thought of. So granted, when you sign up, to teach, you're not signing up for just a check. You're signing up because you're impacting someone else's life. Like, I don't sign up to be a doctor and just, like, I don't go through any schooling and I'm an apprentice in a doctor and then I just go straight into doing surgery. Who's going to trust that type of doctor? Mm-hmm. Like, No, we all want to get paid, but there are different ways that you can get paid too. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse to go uproot someone's life. You know what I'm saying? We can't use that. These programs too, yes, in a sense they do glorify, what teaching is. But at the same time, they also tell you too that you're going to be teaching in a challenging area. You're going to be teaching in a challenging district. Mm-hmm. And it is not roses. And after all this time, all these teachers, all these cities and districts with turnovers and people that don't stay for long and people that give feedback and tell you what it's like, you still sign up. So you hold yourself accountable. If you're not ready or you're not prepared to uphold your commitment to children, then you should not be in the field.
And
this work is gut-wrenching work.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But you also have you also got to understand too. People need jobs when they're leaving, and if you're giving me a job, I'm going to take it because I got bills to pay. Yeah, and most people,
there's a
like you
consequence
said,
to everything that you make.
Yeah, no doubt. And like C said, they take these jobs. They take these jobs because they're looking to, build a resume and so forth, so forth. Of course, all for black people. And they have no understanding when they get what they're really getting into. They really don't. They really don't have an understanding what they're getting into to come teach in the Bronx, Baltimore, in these places, because there's nothing they've ever witnessed or seen before. They have no idea. They don't know what it's like to be a kid that parent is on drugs, or they live in shelters and all this other shit. They have no really idea of that. They can't even relate to that shit. So, I'm not letting them off the hook, but I'm just saying you got to put everything out there. When you have this conversation, they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do because they've never had to be questioned on what to do. So when all this is going on, they have to. They're confused. Of course they're confused because they've never been challenged to have to answer these questions. So this is why this is a much needed conversation, because people have. Like you said, when you start talking, some people get offended, some start crying, some don't know what to do, but at the end of the day, it's a conversation still must be had. Whether you feel guilt or not, it's a conversation must be had because people's lives are at stake. And the fact that most of them, when they do start teaching and they encounter black kids and don't know what, and label them and put these labels on them, special ed, behavior issues and shit like that, it's fucking their lives up. And you know what I'm saying? But it's partly their fault. But me personally, I'm gonna hold the whole system accountable. I want to hold the fucking programs that allow this to happen. I want to allow and them for taking the job, because they just took it because it's just a job, not really understanding what the fuck they're getting into. Because
here's the flip side of that. Here's the flip side.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's just a job. I'm telling you, to them, it is just a job.
Their mentality.
Their mentality is it's just a job. I need a check. My parents ain't paying for me no more, and I gotta find a job to do something. And this is the quickest way to pay bills. That's what I'm saying. That's how they look at it. That's their perspective. I'm not saying that it's just a job, because I understand working in social service that this is not a job. People's lives are at stake. You understand? I understand that full well. But they're not going to understand that. They're not. They don't come from this shit. So they're not going to understand. I think that's an excuse. That's
not fair. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't agree with that, because you have to do the work. You have to do the work. Like, you can't. Like, if I sign up to be a drug dealer, if I sign up to be anything, there are consequences. I have to do the work. I got to do the legwork to be there.
And how many drug dealers? When they get caught, they tell, because they don't want to do the time. They want to get paid, but they don't want to do what comes with, but to deal with the consequences. It's the same shit for them. They don't want to deal with the consequences. They just want to check. They just want to check. And the system, and it's the system's fault, because they underpay teachers, they lose quality teachers. Then you got to deal with all the fucking bureaucracy in the school system. Principals, the administrations, all that shit need to be held accountable. Everybody has to be held accountable for the fucked up educational system. That's what it is. They have to all be accountable. Teachers, yes, because they're the ones in the classroom dealing with the kids. But the people that put these teachers unprepared in these situations got to be held accountable too.
Let me tie it all together then, because both of y'all saying, what you're both saying is correct. So now let's look at these programs. Okay, they say that, all right, they do this mass recruiting. They come into urban communities, or wherever. They're always trying to recruit people. So they come in, they recruit you. I went through this process twice in the past 10 years, just to see, because I didn't think they was going to select me, but I went through it anyway. And I went for physical education the first time, and I went for a social studies teacher the second time, just to see. So here's one thing. They tell you when you come through this program, like the Teach for Americas and all of that, if you get selected, you got to do 3 years, and then they're going to put you in a loan forgiveness program. So whatever your loans were when you took out to become an educator, because most of them took education, they're going to pay those off after you do your 3 years, because that's your commitment. Then what some do, all right, let's say they get in, they don't really know what it is. They go into the fire. They do the 3 years, and let's say they like teaching. Now what they do, they go to the next level. They level up. They got 3 years in the classroom. They go to the grad level so they can go into the principal's academy. So that's why you got principals right now that's like 30. They 30 years old, and they was only in the classroom for 3 years. They're 30, and they're a principal. Now they're responsible for not 25 kids, but they're responsible for 250 kids. They don't understand them, especially if they're in our communities where the population is going to be higher. You know, in places like Baltimore, New York, Houston, maybe people don't know, but those are segregated cities education-wise. Because in New York, I don't care where you are, like it's broken up. Your black kids go with black and Latinos, like they all go to school together, and whites and they all go to school together. And you very rarely have a truly gentrified neighborhood where in a public school where all the kids are together. So they're leveling up, like Chynna said, they're leveling up on our backs. They don't know how to teach. They're not passionate. And I'm saying the majority of them. And now I'm going to just throw the dagger right at white women teachers, because they're the ones that end up crying, need their hands held. Oh, I didn't know, the effect that you have once you're in the classroom on these kids. They look for you for guidance, period. Then once you start teaching them, then the bureaucracy comes in because it's what you're teaching. If you start teaching the truth, like real history, the bureaucracy comes from the top down. Like, hey, that's not what we're doing over here. Teach to the test. Oh, you can't give them that much information. So I went, like I said, I went through the process. I went to the end, got to where you do the mock demonstrations. So, I don't know. I was like 40-something when I went through it. So, maybe it was an age thing. They took, younger. They took a 21-year-old Latin boy. They took a 27-year-old white female, no teaching experience, like never worked with kids. But that's what they do because they feel like they're going to mold them into these teachers. But the people that's in leadership, they weren't even teachers, a lot of them. So all they do is they get money to recruit all of these people that they're going to say are going to come into the system and change. And then you got all these black people, right, that's coming in. They trying to teach. They rejecting them while they going through the process. That's why you don't see no black teachers like that. Especially black males. Like you rarely see a black male in the school system. I don't care what major city it's in. Like you really gonna see us because they don't get through that process. It's done on purpose too. So now, Chynna, you in the school, you're like, yo, y'all need to get involved. I'm talking about emotionally now because kids, white kids got problems too. Like if I'm teaching in a mostly white school, shit, I'm on the outside looking in too. Like I don't know what y'all go through. To me, y'all growing up privileged. So I mean, my view and their view, I might be the only black person they see, other than what they see on TV. Like, oh, I'm not Jay-Z, I'm not Steve Harvey, I'm Mr. Grooms. I lived in urban America. Poverty level. I have degrees. I'm here to teach y'all. No, I'm not your friend. You're not gonna call me a nigga. None of that stuff. I will fuck your parents up if necessary. But we just go through, like, we don't make it through the process. We just don't. That's part of the problem. So, but y'all both saying the same thing. It makes sense. If you get into this field, you should be getting in for the right reason. The right reason is 5 years from now, 10 years from now, a child should remember, oh, Miss Crawford did this. Mr. Mailer did that. Mr. Grooms was able to show me this. That's what teaching is. It's about life and growth development. Like I've had kids come to me 15. I run into a kid 15 years later. Yo, Mr. Grooms, thanks for showing me real history or caring about me. I used to come to school. I wasn't eating. Damn. I kind of figured that. I didn't know, but I showed them. You give yourself. You show them, yo, I care. Like you got to show them that you care. Like it ain't just about, yo, learn this, learn that. Like a robot could do that.
Well, that's what they want you to be, though, son. They want you.
I know they want you to be the robot,
so that's why they gotta put those people in the classrooms because if that's part of their initiative. So they have to
keep it in. That's true. That's
they
true.
have to. I mean, they want them to go by the book. Somebody like you, when you go through a program, and I struggle with it. When you go through a program like that, and you're later on in life, in your late 30s, 40s, and shit like that, they don't want you because you're stuck in your ways. You have ways already. You've already committed to the way who you are. And if they can't mold you and make you who they want them to be, you're not going to listen to a 30-year-old principal or some shit like that. You're going to look at them like, man, fuck out of here.
I've been teaching, but I've been in this field.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm going to keep it 100 with you. The evaluators were like 30, 33. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But so when my resume hits the table, I make it that far because you can't keep the resume back. So when I make it there, they just want to meet you a lot of times.
Yeah, they just want to meet you.
See, who is this dude with 25 years experience, 15 in social services and 10 in athletics, teaching all of it? I taught in 1994. And they like, yo, hold up, who is this guy? So then, you know what I'm saying? So when you get there and the
that
evaluator.
Shit was a long time ago,
that shit was a long time ago, 1994. So they wasn't even born. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, because this was like 2015. When I went. So if you're 30 in 2015, like, shit, I mean, when were you born? 1995? No, 2000? No, 85. You were born in 85.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were born in 85. So, I mean, you evaluating me and you looking at my resume like, damn, he been working for 25 years. I'm only 30. Yeah. So I'm listening to you. I'm trying to get a job now, right? I'm trying to get in because, you know, I'm going to bring in some more black males. Like, yo, they really hiring. Yo, come on. You ain't got no criminal record. Let's go. Like, I'm trying to bring dudes in with me. We ain't getting nowhere. Whether we got degrees. And I've seen I've seen dudes older than me trying to get up in the spot. It was like, nah. They took the real energetic person who had I'm talking about very energetic. You know, took them, but they ain't going to have no control of their classroom. You're going to be working in the Bronx, dude. I'll tell you right now, your attitude in the Bronx, nah, that shit ain't going to work. You need to have command of your classroom. How you get command? Show them respect, make them respect you, and they got to know that you love them for real because kids know. They know if you give a fuck or not. And if you don't, then of course they're going to give you that shit. But here's the complex that our kids go through. A lot of them, think that the white teachers are better because in the world that they're viewing that white is supposed to be the best, not knowing that, like Chynna said, they're struggling to teach us because here's the reality. Even though they call them special ed, no, you just don't know how to teach them. They're actually gifted. The special, and back when we were in school, Rob, the gifted and talented kids was a special ed, but on the positive end. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have the behavioral issues, so we just excelled. The ones that have behavioral issues, they put them in the basement. That don't mean they wasn't smart. They just you couldn't control them. So that's where the whole medication thing came in. And then all of a sudden here come a bunch of white teachers, and they just took over. But they don't know how to teach us because mentally we smarter than them. They don't know how to do the shit that we do. How do you teach them and keep them under control? Yo, don't ask me no stupid shit like that. Like, you gotta, if you care about the kid. So, I understand your struggle. Chynna, I've been there. Rob's been there. But, we at the age now where we like, you know what? We went back there. We tried to get in. They was like, nah, y'all too stuck in your ways. Y'all come in here and fight the system. Like, I don't care if my principal's 35. Like, I'm 50, my principal's 35. All right, kick the real shit. I'm with you. But if it's going to be about this bubbling in holes, for the test, come on, man. What the fuck are we doing? So if you're really trying to teach, it hurts. It hurts your heart, man. And pulling them aloof, they aloof. The one she's talking about, I'm talking about the young white teachers that's aloof, that's coming in, doing their 3 years and bouncing, becoming principals. You 33, 34, you're a principal, you only taught 3 years. You don't know shit about behavior of our kids.
I mean, the article I think the article just really shows the pain that a black teacher is going through, and I mean it really does. I mean, if you haven't read it, it's going to be posted. So we're gonna post it again.
It's powerful. I'm gonna keep it up because
it's a powerful thing that I think all teachers should read it, especially all teachers of color. I mean, I think white teachers should read it as well, so they can, it's all about learning. I mean, when you're a teacher, it's about you also learning yourself, and everybody should be learning all the time. I mean, I think like my man C said, the article was it's just well written.
I mean, it was just ironic that the article, when I saw the article, and then the same day, a friend of mine, her name Renee, like she has principal certification, but she's an assistant principal. Yesterday, they had a meeting in their school with virtual rather, with the white teachers and the black teachers, trying to get the white teachers on board with empathy, how to teach during this situation, what's going on with all of the protests. Like, they had a real meeting about it, and her attitude was like, you know what? We've been holding white teachers' hands for decades. So you know what?
You feel that way, Miss? Do you feel that way?
They need to come in. They need to fall on their face and learn it themselves. They need to when they leave here, they need to go in their own neighborhoods. They need the ones to be the teaching anti-racism. I'm not teaching you shit. This was the real conversation that was going on. And I'm sitting back like, wow, what the fuck? And I just read the article, and I know Renee ain't read it yet, so I'm going to send it to her because I know that they had a meeting specifically about white teachers in the black classroom. Like, that's what the meeting was about at that level. This is all administrators.
Have y'all had those meetings, Chynna? Have y'all had those kind of meetings?
No.
No.
I don't want to talk about like my school in general, but just like no.
Okay.
I just think that I agree with that. I think a lot of black educators feel that way, is that I'm not going to take my time and teach you work that you should have been doing. You should do because you're in this field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not disagreeing that the system isn't messed up, but maybe we have to dismantle the system from the bottom up, because trying to attack people who are at the top and not listening and funding is not where it's working. So let's start with creating allyship with people who are in the classroom with children that we serve. This job is rooted in servitude, and so you make a commitment to uphold and serve a child to help make them the best of their ability, because it's not just about you and your future and getting older, but it's really rooted in that child understanding that they're trying to make something of themselves, and it starts with your classroom. And I do agree that like it's not my responsibility to teach you how to do this work. Like it's just not. It's not my responsibility to teach you how to do this work. I have to learn. I have to grow up being black every day. My students have to grow up being black every day, and we have to learn how to operate in a society that hates us just because we're a certain color.
That's fact.
And no one is teaching me how to be black. No one's giving me courses on what I have to do, even though the system is fucked up, even though the system is the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? No one is doing that for me. So why do I have to hold your hand and do that for you? When there's so many books, so many resources, so many documentaries, so many stories being told, that you should want to do the work because you're working with children, because it's a child. There is, there's a special place in your heart to even allow you to even want to work with children. Like, to even have the patience and the time to deal with another person's child, to pour into another person's child. And you were practically raising these children. I don't care what anybody says. I raised children for 180 days.
That's true.
180 school days. Right. They spend as much time with me as they spend with their parents.
Absolutely.
And so I can't, if you are making this commitment, it is more than a check. I can't, I'm not disagreeing that the system is not messed up. I'm just agreeing that if you are looking for a check, you come to realize, like, even people who think that this job is just a check, they come to realize that you're working really hard for this check. And they realize it's not even, and they don't know if it's even worth it at the end. some of them end up leaving and going to go work in retail because it's just like, I can't do it. Yep. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, these are educators that are here, and I'm not even referring to those. I'm just referring to the people who are in school systems for a while, whatever, working with kids who want to know what to do. This is why the memo is written for you, because you have to understand what your whiteness is, what white guilt is, what white privilege is, and you have to understand how those implicit biases show up in your classroom. And until you do the work, they will always show up in your classroom. They will show up in your lessons. They will show up in the way you interact with children, and they will impact this child for the rest of their lives. And that is not fair to children.
When are you gonna write another one? Because because I'm looking at it right now, right? Cause,
I'm looking at it too.
Because I was reading, I read it, and I'm listening, like the bullet points, like just all right. I don't even want to date myself saying like as a 5%er, I'm going. When you said knowledge, right? I said, knowledge. What do I need to know? And you was like, as teachers, we are students of life. I was like, damn, okay. She went in, bang, the first sentence. I said, okay, then I got to work. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to support our students? Work and wisdom go together for me, because that's how you gain wisdom, is through the work, like what you actually do, trial and error. And then you bullet pointed the work. You said the integrity, the implement, and involvement. So now,
bang, bang.
Like, so yes, you should have integrity, right? You figure like, damn, I'm teaching. Like, once you realize what I'm doing, right? Because you have to ask yourself that question: what do I need to know? So that's your knowledge. Now you got to do the work. Have integrity about your work, implement it, and be involved in the development of the student. So I'm going like, damn, okay. And then the end, understanding, is listening. You got to listen first in order to comprehend and understand, and then you just repeat the cycle. You got to keep doing it for each kid. Every kid needs that, and it requires a lot of energy. So when I was reading, I said, damn, you gave a whole lecture. Like, that was a whole lecture, a whole big picture on a small canvas, and the whole, everything is covered. And now you're looking at everything in your face. Like, you can't, in a big picture, you could hide some things in the background. Oh, I never noticed that. No, with the way this is written, like, you notice everything that's in there. What are you going to do? Are you going to be the teacher that you signed up to be, or you got to keep it moving? Because people like yourself, like, you're going to be the people that dismantle the system. I mean, that's just the reality. We can help from the background. We can do what we can do, but they don't want to hear from us. First of all, we older, set in our ways. We too radical. They tired of our asses. All right, they don't want us in there. What they didn't expect is that the people that came behind us was going to be more passionate, more involved, and really understand the link between education and how it's supposed to set you for life. To steer you're trying to steer kids away from the school to prison pipeline, and they trying to keep it open. You busting holes in the pipeline, and then it's at this point, it's like, where do you want to go? Do you want to stay? Because a teacher going up top, leveling up, becoming an administrator, that's a whole different ball game. It's the same thing, but if you keep your passion, whoever is in your district, y'all could be the model for how the rest of the district should be, because that right there was required reading. And I'm definitely going to pass that around, because I know plenty of educators.
Exactly.
The irony is that they had, one of them that I know had that conversation yesterday with administrators. That was the conversation they had.
But that's the funny thing, though, right? When you live, like, because you guys are in the city and I'm in the suburban area, those conversations aren't being had. Like, those conversations, and those same black kids are looking at the same thing. They're not in the city environment, but they're also being mistreated in their schools as well by same white educators. So, I mean, it's all across the board with them. They just have no understanding for black children. They have that, and they have no empathy for black children. And I think that statement, and as I look at this, that says sums it up with true, is that true allyship is rooted in constant self-reflection and self-awareness that promotes self-development. Like, I mean,
look in the mirror.
Can you ding that shit any more than that? Ding, ding, ding. Like,
right.
Like,
that's telling you look in the mirror at yourself.
Like,
you know,
they're
reminded of a Michael Jackson verse where they like look in the mirror and find yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you can't teach us.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you read this, if you were educated and you read this, whether you black or white, and you have to look at this and say, damn. I mean, I got a lot. I got to do better. I got to do better. I got to do a lot better. You know what I mean? Like,
sound like you got public speaking in your future, Chynna. You know, because
I don't think so.
Seriously.
But I
mean, you can't shy away from it now. You hear it.
It's here. Like when you write that. You know what it reminded me? You remember the scene in that, what movie was that? With Tom Cruise is in it. They was like, she showing me the money. I forgot the name of that movie, man. With Cuba Gooding, he wrote this memo that the industry, like, it's like an open secret. Jerry Maguire. Like, he wrote this memo, and it's like, it's the real stuff, but nobody wants to do it because it requires too much of giving and changing themselves because people are stuck in their ways. And, you know, there are the people that slide through, they try to get a check. And then they realize, like, oh, I really got to take this serious. So some people do change, and they become better teachers. And then some people say, I can't do it no more, and they bounce.
There you go.
You know? So, I mean, it's real. Education and social services, they go hand in hand. You know, that's why, you know, I've been on both sides. I said, damn, you know, I know what the kids deal with. But when you try to get in, you know, black men in particular, when we try to get into the system, we run into a lot of roadblocks. But I'm glad that a lot of black women are actually, you know, getting into the system and becoming leaders. You know, it helps. You know, but I always get that question, how come the black males can't get up in the system? Now, I just tell them the truth because they don't want us there. You can't have us.
I don't know. You know, I agree and I disagree. But I don't know, because maybe in my own community, because, you know, black men are needed. They want black men in our schools.
They always say that.
I think that, though, I think that we have this collective belief that we have to go through a particular program to get into it. But it took me, we have to go through a particular program to get it. But it took me, you know what I'm saying, being rejected out of a program and getting into it outside of it. And so I just feel like, you know, more conversation needs to be had on the fact that you don't have to go through a program to validate your value in the education system. And I think that that's the problem that we also have, too. You know, we rely on these programs. You know, we rely on these certification tests to validate our value and where we're needed in education, and that's just not it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my children, I have had students always ask me, why, you know, my students tell me, why are all the black teachers who are in the building, black male teachers in the building gay, Ms. Crawford? You know, they'll ask that question. You know, and these are coming from children, not to say that that's a problem, but these are real authentic questions that I can't even answer. I can't answer that. Not to say your sexuality has anything to do with what a child feels, but the fact of the matter, these are real questions that kids want to know. Because they want to see everyone. They want to see a diverse group of black people in there. It shouldn't just be one. Why, you know, they ask me, why do we always have so many black women teachers, Ms. Crawford? Why are there not enough black male teachers? No, they ask those questions. They want people to be there, and I just think that we have to figure out ways to enter into a system, you know, that does try to keep us out, but also to recognize that we don't have to go through programs to get into it.
That's what's up. I mean,
that sounds like a solution to me. You know, that I mean, very, very well written. You just explained it, you know, even more in depth and gave some solutions. You know, like I said, I see a lot coming from this. You know, I do. So if that's where you right now, that's your passion, that, you know, teaching and activism, they do go hand in hand, because it is a war in education, and that's a fact. Like, it's been going on for a minute. We just survived it. That's all. You know, we survived, and I mean, whatever you need, I mean, we'll be here, because it's necessary. Like, it's a real war. Like right now, the kids they not. I'm just going because I got 3 kids in school right now, and they just some of the teachers go through the motions, and then once they get past 3rd grade, and it's all about that test, it's a wrap. You know, it's that's all they care about. They do need to break the system down. They do. We need people that actually give a damn. So keep pushing. We with you. There's others out there just like you. Y'all the ones that got to push through. And those is real questions that the kids is asking. Why aren't there more black males in the school? Then on top of that, the ones that are here, so why all of the teachers are gay? You know, that are black and are male in there. Like, that's not the only representation of us, but that's how, you know, you're talking about the impressionable children that's in there. They need to see a mixture of what they do. Like, we do have black male gays, but everybody that's black male isn't gay. And in the teaching, like, and we all, I'm not going to be singing to you, hey, you know, yeah, let's do it this way. I'm going to be like, yo, let's go, let's get some work done here. Like, the aggression is different. Like, I got a deep voice. I don't know.
The aggression is rooted in accountability.
That's it, accountability.
The aggression is just rooted in accountability. I think that, you know, they tie you being aggressive with just you holding somebody accountable. You know, I guess that I'm mean all the time, but it's just that I have high expectations of you because the world doesn't. So that's
but
okay.
It's accepted from a woman teacher. Like all the black women teachers that I have, like that I had in school, because I had like 4 of them. They were no nonsense. They had expectations, and if you didn't meet the expectation, because once they get through all of your clown stuff that you do as a student, they was on my ass. They was like, no, you're going to do some work. I expect you to do this. And they'll let me know. And, you know, they'll tell me. Then if they ain't like that, they go to moms and pops. And after that, you know, it's either straighten up or get that ass whipped. So I straightened up, you know, but became the best student I could be at that level, which was in elementary school. Now, once you got to middle school, that was different. You know, I was about, you know, after you leave school, you got to fight to make sure you could wear your sneakers home and shit. So, fuck school when I got to middle school. But elementary, yeah, I was a very good student. You know, that's the truth. But, I mean, Rob, what you got? Bro.
I'm just glad. Thank you for coming on, making time to come on the show and talk about your article. You know, because I think, like I said, I think it's a conversation that that's needed. I think that it's an article that everybody needs to post, to read, and you know, once again, man, it's just a great article. I think it was great. Like I told her when I read it, it brought tears to my eyes. I was like, damn. You know, because I went to private school my whole life pretty much. So I had one black teacher. That was like late in high school. So, you know, I mean, you don't get that type of, you know, that care, you know, and so it's important. It's like really important. And as a person who's worked with kids with behaviors or who's been labeled with behaviors, and, you know, I know a lot of these teachers put false labels on them because they can't deal with them, and that bothers me because you're knocking a kid down that really you didn't take a chance to, you didn't take the time to understand them, and a lot of times they scared. You know, it's a lot of shit. You know, it's a lot of shit in the game. So, you know, it's a joy to read things like this, but it's also like we gotta put everything in a perspective and find out where we can start to build the action and follow through with these things and start knocking the blocks down one by one. You know, whether it's by having a conversation, calling out our white educators, calling out the system, and letting them know that as black people that, you know, we tired of this shit. This shit has got to end. Like we dealt with a lot of shit. We deal with the redlining, we deal with the lack of education, the bad books. We deal with a lot of shit, and our kids still make it through this shit and become successful. And just imagine if we had the same tools that everybody had in better neighborhoods and things like that, what would we be then? And I think that, you know, I keep always, you know, there's so many quotables in in this article that I love. I'm you know, I think the last sentence too was just like dynamite. Like, I read somewhere that cops were once students too. Imagine who our students will become once we do the work. I mean, damn, that just, you know, that right there, that hurt, that pulled at my heart, and I just like, I mean, this shit is powerful, bro. You know, we get on here every day. I mean, we get on here once a week. We do this, and we passing on knowledge to a lot of people. And you know, when we run into when we get the chance to speak to people who also is applying that knowledge, I mean, it's just powerful shit we putting out here for our people. And once again, I mean, great article, Chynna. I don't know how many of ways.
Thank you.
I mean, you deserve your flowers.
And I just shared it. I shared it with my principal friend, you know, sister principal.
Yeah, I'm sharing that.
I just shared. I tagged her like, you must read this. Being that I read her IG post earlier, she gonna read it. She'll get back to me. You know, she is the one, Rob, that wants to, you know, start the charter school, and you know, she's been gathering a lot of information, and we just, I don't know. Once people start working, and you know, you get both feet in the mud, you know, it's hard to come out and go and do your own thing, you know. But she assures me that that's still a plan. So, I mean, we are still young technically. You know what I mean? In this field, we're middle age for real, because you know, we're not young, but we definitely not old. I mean, that's how they look at us, you know. But you know, we also hardhead because we know real history. So, you know, they don't really want to fuck with us. Like, they just don't. But this is what we're here for.
This article right now has 82 claps. We need to get this to like 1,000.
Right.
We need this in more hands. So, you know, we're gonna do our part, and we're gonna post it everywhere we at, and pass it on to educators, to my principal friends and teacher friends, and we're gonna let them read, and we want them to take on this fight too. We want you know, it's all hands on deck right now. Everybody's hands is on deck. We at a critical stage in this society, and right now everybody's is going to be held accountable. And you know, whether you protesting, marching, whatever you doing, as long as you contributing to the betterment of our people in society, that's what we want. You know, that's what we want, really. That's what we trying. We just want equality, and you know, just like what they give to the mother people. So, you know, we ain't gonna keep you no longer, Ms. Crawford. We appreciate you for hanging out with us night owls, and sharing your experience.
You're welcome back anytime. You know,
anytime. I've been begging her to come on the show to talk her ish. Hey, you know what I mean?
I don't got nothing to talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I doubt that. You had a lot
to say. You got a lot to say.
And you got more.
You got more.
We'll ease you in. I mean, you know.
You know, we trying. I just want her to break. You know, get a taste of it. Hopefully, you come back, right? You know, and you know, we love to have you on, because we big on education. We want to help the youth. We want to make sure those in urban areas has the things, or getting the things they need. We want to, you know, Grumpy Men. We for everybody. We everywhere. We want to help We want to be a part of whatever the fight is. We want to be there. And you know what I'm saying. And like I said, we definitely are allies for your cause, and anything you need. You know what I'm saying. Grumpy Men. We be more sponsor whatever you trying to do, and show the love to the youth, you know what I mean? So definitely, you know, once again.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. An open member to white educators is up on Medium. I'm just trying to hold white educators accountable, because being a teacher is like being a heart surgeon. You're working into the core of what we do. And that's, you know what I'm saying, we try and change lives. And so let's start a conversation. Let's do some work.
No doubt. Excellent work, girl.
All right. Thank you guys for having me so much. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Thank
you. Yes, we appreciate you. Yes.
Bye.
Now go ahead and go get some sleep.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.